Welcome back to AM Northwest. If you're single and looking for love online, beware of fake dating profiles. Here to tell us how to spot them, we welcome back relationship and dating expert Kelly Hoffman. Good to see you.
Great to see you too.
There's so many flags that we kind of need to be aware of in this ultra technical world here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are things that people that are genuine can give a signal for, so you need to kind of know what to look for in the aggregate, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like one of the things is, scammers, they will post blurry pictures or really excellent pictures. And that doesn't mean like they'll be very handsome, they'll be very curated in where they're standing and stuff. That doesn't mean the person isn't real, but when you couple it with some other things, you're like, okay, I'm getting to the idea.
It seems like if it's too perfect, then it's not real.
That is like, you get to a point that you can tell it, but there are some people that are very photogenic and very attractive, but if they're very photogenic and very attractive, they're not going to have these profiles that aren't filled out.
Okay, let's take a look at this
Yeah,
picture.
absolutely.
What are we seeing here?
Okay, so you're seeing someone. This is very attractive man. I blurred out the face, but you're seeing the shirt is very fashionable. The man is very attractive, and then but you look over and under this thing he has very little. He's got an advanced degree and he's an engineer and he's widowed. Those are three, like engineer and widowed are kind of like the scammer 101. I don't know why. Maybe it's because for women, that kind of indicates financial security or something, and someone that's been in a relationship before.
Okay.
Widowed, and it doesn't always have to be this with a scammer. Doesn't always have to be with a super attractive photo. I just kind of gave an example of that. But sometimes the widowed and engineer can be with someone that's more like normal looking, not so like I grabbed this off of Instagram. But then you go to the story. And it says, are you ready to love and be loved in return? And it's very flowery, which some men and women speak like that, but they'll also talk about what they want in a relationship as well. Whereas a scammer profile will be very much based on what I'm going to give to you, how I want to please you, and nothing about themselves in return. Plus, there will be inconsistencies in grammar and inconsistencies in spelling, which if someone's an engineer, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I guess that makes a lot of sense because it might attract women who don't want to deal with the baggage of an ex-spouse, right? And then they want to make sure he's financially secure, as you mentioned.
Exactly. So a lot of women have their gatekeeping, and someone that is a widow that has been in a happy relationship, supposedly, and is financially secure is a great place to start with. And there are men like that out there, but you've got to make sure you're vetting that they're real.
Also interesting, too, that sometimes they claim to be widowed and Christian, which reaches out to that sector of the population.
Well, and part of it is when you make a religious statement, people that are affiliated with that religion often have high standards and honesty, and it kind of automatically gives you
they feel like they trust you already.
Yes, it builds trust when there shouldn't be any. So don't automatically assume someone is who they're saying they are. I mean, I know that makes sense, but
okay. And then when someone just only wants to text with you, I'm sorry, what are we looking at here?
Yeah. So there's two pictures. Like this is a more normal, handsome man. The one that it's just the smile.
Right.
But then it's about me. It says, "Ask and you shall receive." Like they're using a scripture. They're not saying anything about themselves. That's a red flag. Even if someone uses a scripture, "Ask and you shall receive," they'll follow it up with, "I like giving to my partner," or "I like being in a mutually giving relationship with a woman." They'll say a little bit more. That's very suspicious that it's so short. And then the next one is very highly curated. The outfit is curated. It looks like they pulled it right off of Instagram. And it said, "I'm an honest and kind person." And leading with that, some real people lead with that too, but I hope to meet someone who shares my interests, hobby. Like they're just kind of too focused on what the other person is and not enough about themselves. Real people usually say what they want or what they like.
Look what they're looking for, who they're looking for.
Yeah. And then there's that text exchange where it's like all about someone being gorgeous. How long have you been on here it's some honest people have the how long have you been on here, but a lot of scammers use that for like if they want to know if you've only been on a short time, because then you're not as aware of
who he is.
And the scammer pattern.
Right. Okay. So, and then you say if they want to exclusively text versus talk on the phone or Zoom or anything like that.
Exactly. And so there's scammers and then there's married guys. Exclusive text.
They're both scammers.
They're both scammers.
Okay, got it.
We're going for a different angle. And this is true for women too. Like I talk to my male clients, we look through this stuff, and if there's bad grammar, if they're very, very attractive and the attractiveness and education level doesn't match what you're seeing in the wording and the spelling and the punctuation, that's a huge sign. But if someone only wants to text back and forth, usually that's because they're kind of keeping it on the down low. If someone asks you to email, that's a scammer. Just delete it. Nobody in this day and age prefers to email over texting or calling.
Interesting. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's talk about vetting the person then.
Yeah, absolutely. So the ways to vet them is get on the phone as quickly as possible. I tell my clients this all the time. And even like guys that are real are like, and women that are real, I want to get on the phone with you and see if there's a connection. I don't want to waste time, wondering if we're going to go out.
I would want to hear the voice.
Exactly.
Voices are important.
You want to hear the voice. Absolutely. If you have any suspicion, try to call them at a time that you think they might not be available. I've had clients catch two people lying about their name, probably married, but their voicemail was their name.
Wife?
No, it wasn't their wife. That would be good. It was their real name and versus the name that they gave online. So, but don't tell them, don't gloat, because my clients went back and gloated. I'm like, oh, you just told them what to do for the next one. So you want to keep it on the down low for the other people that they're going to be going after in the interim.
I would think too. I mean, this seems like a major one. I would think every woman would be able to tell this. But if they ask you for money,
oh, absolutely, absolutely. But the way that scammers do it is very, very, it's very subtle. They'll ask for like $20 or maybe $200, and they'll have it'll make sense, and they'll pay it back. And that's the building confidence thing. And they might do it a couple of times before they do the big sting. Right. So you're like, oh, it's $20. Okay, I'm going to see if he's for real. I've had clients say that. Like I didn't mind losing the $20, but they'll be like, I'm out of the country, I can't answer the phone. So they'll be suspicious, but because they pay back the money, they're like, oh, they're not a scammer, not realizing it's part of the setup.
Yeah. It's hard to tell sometimes if the scam is about finding a date and they're married or if it's about getting money.
Exactly.
Like if they're catfishing.
Exactly. And so you just always want to get on that phone, have that conversation. Right. A video call is best. And I have clients that are like, oh, I just want to meet them across the table. You just want to cut down on time. You've got to get dressed. You've got to drive wherever. You can tell so much. You can vet so much from Zooms, especially, and pay attention.
You can tell if they live in their mother's basement.
You can totally tell. And how they show up for the Zoom call tells how they want to present themselves. And if what they're telling you is matching what you see in the background.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Kelly, great information. Thank you.